All right. So this is the joint probability distribution. So we have again two categories here, which is discrete and continuous. So the only part which you have to focus here is that Jij, which two summation, one is for x and one is for y. Stable. 1 minute, guys. Okay. Am I audible properly? My internet connection shows some disruption. Okay. If I'm not audible, please let me know. Okay. So these two are the only point which you have to note, and the joint probability distribution is what till now we have only seen single variable x or y. Now we are jointly working on two random variables, which is x and y. So jointly we are working on two random variables x and y. So jointly of two variable x and y, we call it as joint probability distribution. This can be discrete, this can be continuous. So both we can see one by one. So the condition of joint probability is same as what we have seen earlier, that each probability should be greater than or equal to 0, and summation of all Jij, what is Jij and all I will tell you in a while in the problem itself. And when you add all that, the sum should be 1. So this is called the discrete. We have one more term called marginal probability distribution. Mathematically, I have explained here, but you will come to know how to find the marginal probability in the problem itself. So mathematically, I just given you the expression here. So don't scratch your head too much. Whenever we want to find the marginal probability of x, we will take the sum of y terms of Jij. Whenever we want to find the marginal probability of y, we will take the sum of x terms from Gij. All right. So this is what marginal probability is. Let us quickly see some more formulas which we have already seen earlier, which we are going to use to solve the problem. Expectation of x, which is nothing but xi into f of xi. Expectation of y is yj and g of yj. So you have two random variable x. So x is associated with xi and f of xi. Keep that in mind. And random variable y will be associated with yj and g of yj. These two things I'm introducing, and you will come to know what this means in problem itself. All right. Then we have expectation of x into y, which is nothing but summation of xi, yj, and jij. So this is the formula. Then we have variation of x, which we have already seen previously, that nothing but expectation of x square minus mean square. Similarly, variation of y will be expectation of y square and mean of y whole square. Okay, we have one more term called covariance of xy. So direct formula, there is no need to go for theory, because this is again we will discuss in detail in your chapter number 3. So covariance of between two data can be calculated by E of xy minus E of x into E of y. So everywhere, wherever you have E of x and E of y, they are all mean of x into mean of y. So, but I have written in terms of expectation only. Then we have correlation of x and y. To check the data, how the data of x and y are correlated to each other. So we denote this with rho of x comma y, and the formula is covariance of xy. We have to first find this part, and then we have to divide by standard deviation of x and standard deviation of y. So standard deviation we can get from here. So first we'll find the variance, and then we will take the square root, so we will get the standard deviation. And this is very important concept. If x and y are independent, to check whether it's independent or not, very small formula we have, that f of xi value we will take and g of yj value we will take, we multiply them. If it is same as j of ij, then it is independent, otherwise it is not independent. This is the basic formulas. Apart from this, none of the other formulas we are using to solve the problems. And how to calculate the probabilities, that we will see in the problem itself. All right. So this slide will be there with you with all the formulas. Let us quickly jump to the problem, and I will explain you each and every concept. So this is one problem from the question bank itself I have taken. All right. So a joint probability of two random variable x and y is given. So this table is given to you. Now let us understand the table. This value, whatever is given here, is y values, and this values, whatever is given, is x values. All right. So -4, -2, and -7. This is y values. 1 and 5 is the x value. So two variable x and y jointly we are talking about. So this table is nothing but joint probability table. This we will call it as joint probability table or joint probability distribution. We can sometimes call it, better we call it as joint probability distribution. So this table is called as joint probability distribution. Earlier I have told you one word called Jij. Now what is Jij? If you go from here to this column, the first value, which is 1/8, is nothing but J11. This is called J12. This is called J13. Next, this will be J21. We call this as J22, and we call it as J23. So now you understood what is Jij mean. So Jij means the value of x equal to 1 and y equal to -4. If I just put, I want to find x equal to 1 and y is equal to -4, the value is J11. The value is J11, which is 1/8 given in this case. If you want to find the value of x equal to 5 and y is equal to 7, so x equal to 5 and y is equal to 7 means it will be J23. So this is nothing but J23. The value is given as 1/8 and so on. So in general, we call it as J of Ij. So where I is equal to any value of y and j, I will be associated for x and j will be associated for y values. So all together we can write J11, J12, J13 and so on. So now I think you have got the idea of joint distribution table. Now I have added one more column called sum. Whenever you have a joint probability distribution, always try to write the sum. So first you write the sum of rows. What is 1/8 plus 1/4 plus 1/8? Can you tell me quickly what is the value of this sum? So 1/8 plus 1/8 is 2/8. So 1/4 plus 1/4. So this will be 1/2. All right. And value of 1/4 plus 1/8 plus 1/8. When you add this, this is also 1/2. So the sum, and now I have written the sum of these rows and these values. So because x has two values, so two values of sum you will get it. Next I will do the sum of column. So what is the sum of 1/8 plus 1/4? So by 1/8 plus 1/4 will be 3/8. You can do that quickly. What is the value sum of 1/4 plus 1/8? This is also again 3/8. So 1/8 plus 1/8 is 2/8, which is nothing but 1/4. Now, when you do this sum, next you can write the marginal probability. So now I'm writing the marginal probabilities. Okay. So how to write the marginal probability? Marginal probability of x I will write, and the marginal probability of y also I will write. So whenever you talk about marginal probability of x, you will get two column xi and f of xi, as I've told you. Okay, so x has only two values, which is 1 and 5. So both value will come here, 1 and 5. And what is this f of xi value? The sum which you have written here, sum. So 1/2 for 1, and for 5 also sum is 1/2. So this is the marginal probability of x. So when you want to write the marginal probability of, in this case we will write in terms of yj and g of yj. So now I think you have got the idea why I have written xi and yj, two different concepts. So y has three values, -4, -2 and 7. So this value will come here, -4, 2 and 7, and their corresponding probability is you have written here, the sum. For -4 it is 3/8. For 2 it is 3 by 8, and for 7 it is 1 by 4. If the joint distribution table is given to you, you can directly write the value of marginal probability of x and marginal probability of y. So that is what I have written previously in mathematical form. The marginal probability of x means because this is y values in this case, so sum of y I have taken, and marginal probability of y means x, this is x values, so sum of x columns I have taken. So now you have got the idea of marginal probability of x and marginal probability of y. So first question I have answered. Next is, let us find the expectation of x and y. So directly we can find the expectation of x. So what is the formula for expectation of x? Can you tell me what is the expectation of x? Summation of, you are talking about e of x, okay? So you have to only focus upon marginal probability of x. So the formula is summation of xi into f of xi, means marginal probability of x table you have to look at. So the e of x value will be 1 into 1 by 2 plus 5 into 1 by 2. So this value will be how much? 1 by 2 plus 5 by 2. So this will be 6 by 2. So answer is coming at 3. So e of x is 3. Next, how to find e of y? Because now I'm talking about y, so I have to look into marginal probability of y. So I have to take the sum of yj into g of yj. Whenever am I audible? Guys, am I audible? Internet connection disruption is coming. Okay. If I'm not audible, please let me know. So expectation of y will be yj into g of yj. So I have to take the table of marginal probability of y. So when you do this, yj means minus 4 into 3 by 8 plus 2 into 3 by 8 plus 7 into 1 by 4. So when you calculate this, I'm getting the answer as 1. So you can just calculate it and check it. So e of x and e of y I have calculated. So next part is to calculate e of x into e of x y. So I'll go to the next page. Any doubt in this particular page, let me know. Okay. So next I have to find the e of xy. So e of xy formula is summation of xi into yj into jij. This is the formula. So to look into the formula, you should have to take the xi values, yj values and jij values. It means which table you have to look into? You have to look into joint probability table. You have to look into joint probability table. So let us quickly go back to the joint probability table and let us see what we have. So I will just rub the remaining portions. Summation values, I will just keep it. All right. So now this is xi's. This is xi means x1, x2, and this is y1, y2, and y3. So xi into yj, and these are all your j11, j12, j13. Then you have j21, j22, and j23. So now I have to take the sum of all the three. So x1 into y1 into j11, that is what it means, plus x1 into y2 into j12. Okay, are you getting the point? So I will just write down here. So first sum will be x1 into y1 into j11. That is the first sum. Okay, plus next will be x1 into y2, x1 into y2 into j12. j12 plus x1 into y3, x1 into y3 into j13 and so on. Next will be x2 into y1 and so on. So like that I have to take all the sum. So your e of xy value will become how much? I will just quickly write it here. So this will become x1 into y1 into j11. Okay, for I into j from 1 to n, whatever the values we have. So we can just quickly go back to the table and check what are the values we have and we'll write the values. So we have 1 into minus 4 into 1 by 8 as one value. Let us check. 1 into minus 4 into 1 by 8 is one value. Plus next is 1 into 2 into 1 by 4 plus 1 into 2 into 1 by 4 plus what is the next value? 1 into 7, 1 into 7 into 1 by 8. So next will be 1 into 7 into 1 by 8 plus what is next value? 5 into minus 4 into 1 by 4. 5 into minus 4 into 1 by 4. So next value will be 5 into minus 4 into 1 by 8. Sorry, 1 by 4 plus what is the next value? 5 into 2 into 1 by 8. So next will be 5 into 2 into 1 by 8. And the last value will be 5 into 7 into 1 by 8. So this will be 5 into 7 into 1 by 8. So when you just calculate all these values, you will get 3 by 2. So any doubt in this? No. What is the next part I have to calculate? I have to find the covariance of xy. And what is the formula of covariance of xy? Covariance of xy formula is E of xy minus E of x into E of y. So I will take this formula directly. So for this covariance of x comma y, which is nothing but E of xy minus E of x into E of y. Both values I have already got it. E of xy is 3 by 2 minus E of x, how much we have got previously? E of x we have got 3 and E of y we have got 1. So we'll just substitute. So 3 into 1. So when you calculate this, 3 by 2 minus 3, it is coming as minus of 3 by 2. Okay. Now this is done. Now next part is we have to find the standard deviation of x and y. So to find the standard deviation of x and y, I have to calculate variance first, because I know standard deviation is nothing but square root of variance. Okay, variance of x. Similarly, the standard deviation of y will be square root of variance of y. So first I will find the variance by this formula. So let us quickly take the variance of x first, and then we will go for variance of y. So fifth part, I am taking variance of x. So what is the formula variance of x? E of x square minus expectation of x whole square. Okay, so we already know how to find E of x square. Previous slides we have seen. If we just quickly go back, here we have E of x. So I have taken x here. So whenever you want to find E of x square, same formula you will get x square. Okay, that is the only change here. So I will just put the formula. So I will write this as summation of x square into f of xi whole square, and minus E of x we have got 3. So 3 whole square becomes 9. I'll just put the value. So now I will find the value of summation of x square into f of xi. So to check this, I have to look into back again marginal probability of x. table. So xi whole square into f of xi. So I will get 1 square into 1 by 2 plus 5 square means 25 into 1 by 2. This is the only value I will get. So I will get 1 by 2 plus 25 by 2. So which is 26 by 2. So what is 26 by 2? That is the value I am getting here. All right. So this value I am getting here as 1 into half plus 5 square. So this is 25 into half minus 9. So that will be nothing but 25 by 2 plus 1 by 2. So 26 by 2 minus 9. So you can calculate this. You will get answer as 4. So sigma square x is 4. So this implies your sigma x is square root of 4, which is 2. So I have got sigma x value. So let us quickly find sigma square of y as well. So this will be e of y whole square minus expectation of y whole square. So because it is y term, so I have to take yj whole square into g of yj minus expectation of y, we have got 1, so we will get 1 square. So let us quickly check the marginal probability of y. So I will just quickly write here. So yj square into g of yj I have to do. So you will get minus 4 whole square. So you will get 16 into 3 by 8 plus 4 into 3 by 8 plus 7 into 7 is 49 into 1 by 4. So if you just calculate this quickly, what is the value you will get? I think I'm getting 79 by 4. 79 by 4. Just check it quickly. Is it 79 by 4? Okay. So I'll just write the values here. This will be 1 into 16 into 3 by 8. 16 into 3 by 8 plus 49 into 1 by 4. This is, we have the value, and minus of 1 square is 1. So when you solve this completely, you will get 75 by 4 with minus 1 also. So this is the sigma square of y. So this implies your sigma y will be square root of 75 by 4. Correct? Any doubt in this? 1 second. I have to add one more sheet in this for workout. Okay. So next we'll find the covariance of xy now. So covariance of xy we have already done, and standard deviation also we have found. Now we'll find the correlation. This is rho of xy, nothing but correlation. So what is the correlation of xy formula? This is the formula. So I will take the correlation value. So the formula is covariance of x comma y divided by standard deviation of x into standard deviation of y. So covariance of xy, how much we have got? Minus 3 by 2. So I will just substitute minus 3 by 2 whole divided by sigma x is 2 into sigma y is 75 by 4. If we just calculate this quickly, I will get the answer as minus 0.1732. So that is the value of x comma y. It is negative correlation. I'm just writing the observation what I'm getting, negative correlation, and it's a weak correlation because it is not close to 1, it is very very close to 0. So it is a negative weak correlation. What does all this mean? We will see in detail next chapter. So correlation also we have found. Now I have to also check whether x and y are independent or not. How to check the independence? By this rule. Fxy is independent if f of xi into g of yj should be equal to j of ij is the formula. So to check the independence, to check the x and y independence, I have to take xi into g of yj, and that should be equal to j of ij in general. So what I will do, I will take only one value. I will just take x1, I will take g of y1, and I will check whether it is equal to j11 or not. So what is f of x1 value? F of x1 is 1 by 2, g of y1 is 3 by 8. So let us put the value. So this is 1 by 2 into 3 by 8. How much I'm getting? I'm getting 3 by 16. Is it equal to J11? Let us check. J11 value was 1 by 8. Okay, so you can see here J11 value is 1 by 8. So which is not equal to J11 because J11 is equal to 1 by 8 given in the table. Alright, so therefore x and y is not independent. X and y is not independent. That is the conclusion we have. So that is all. We have answered all the questions. If any doubt is there in any particular portion, please let me know so that I can go back to the previous next part. Any doubt? Any doubt in this particular question? In one question itself, I have told you all the things: marginal probability also, how to find expectations also, how to find covariance, and how to find the correlation. In one problem only, everything is covered. And don't forget that joint probability distribution will be given to you. Sometimes they will only give marginal probability, and from marginal probability you have to construct joint probability. Okay, so this part also you can calculate, you can understand it here only. 1 by 2 into 3 by 8 is 1 by 8. 1 by 2 into 3 by 8 is 1 by 8, like that. So you have to multiply each part and then you can calculate the joint distribution table also. So there is no doubt in this. All right, so let us go back to the next problem. We'll quickly answer this. A joint distribution of discrete random variables given by C of xy. Just change the color of the pen. All right. For x equal to 1, 2, 3 and y is equal to 1, 2, 3. So find the following. So before answering the following question, I have to first find the joint probability distribution. So how I will find the joint probability distribution? By f of xy, which is C of xy given. So if you can just quickly look into the table, x value also take 1, 2, 3 and y value also take 1, 2, 3. So this is x1. This is x1, this is x2, this is x3, this is y1, this is y2, and this is y3. So now in cxy, I will put the values 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, and then I will just fill this table. So when x is 1 and y is 1, you will get 1 into c. When x is 1 and y is 2, you will get 2c. When x is 1, y is 3, you will get 3c. Next, when x is 2 and y is 1, you will get again 2c. Next, you will get 4c here, and then you will get 6c in this case. Here you will get 3c, 6c, and 9c. So this is a joint probability table. I have done it. Now I have to find the value of constant c. So how to find the constant c? I already told you that summation of all jij should be equal to 1. That is the property. So it means all the value of 1, 2, 3c, 2c plus 4c, everything I have to add and I have to equate to 1. So therefore, when you equate this, you will get 1c plus 2c plus 3c plus 2c plus 4c plus 6c plus again 3c plus 6c plus 9c, and that should be equal to 1. So how much? 9, 15, 18, 18, 9, 22, 26, 30, 32, 33, 36. 36 I'm getting. So this is 36c is equal to 1. So c will be equal to 1 by 36 I am getting. Any confusion in this? Any confusion in this? No. So later if you want, you can put the value of c in this case, or you can just keep as it is. And now let us find the probabilities. So next let us find the probability of x greater than 2 and y is equal to 3. So this is first. So now let us go for the second. The probability of x equals to 2 and y is equal to 3 means what? X is equal to 2 and y is equal to 3. So which value I am talking about? I am talking about this value, which is 6c. Got the point or not? X equal to 2 and y is equal to 3. The corresponding grid, you take it. So this is nothing but J11, J12, J13. This is J21, J22, J23. This will be J31, J32, and J33. So this is nothing but J23 value I am talking about. So this is J23, which is nothing but 6c. So this is nothing but 6 into 1 by 36. So value is 1 by 6 for this value. Now let us go for the second question. Can you quickly answer the second question? What you have? You have x should be greater than equal to 1 and it should be less than equal to 2, and y should be strictly between 2. So what are the options you have? X between 1 and 2, including 1 and 2. So x can be 1 and y can be 1, plus x can be 1 and y can be 2 anyway, because y is up to 2, plus probability of x can be 2 because it is up to 2, and y can be 1, and probability of x can be 2 and y also can be 2. These are the only possibilities you have. So just take the probability of that. So this is nothing but j of 1 1. This is j of 1 2 1 2. This is plus j of 2 1 plus j of 2 2. So just put the values. What is j of 1 1? J of 1 1 is 1c plus j12 is 2c plus J21 is also 2C plus J22 is 4C. So how much I'm getting? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm getting, I'm sorry, I'm getting this as 9 into C, which is nothing but 9 into 1 by 36. So 1 by 4 is the answer for this portion. So now can you answer me x greater than equal to 2? We'll go to the, we'll just, okay. Fourth, I will just write it here. What is probability of x greater than equal to 2? So probability of x greater than equal to 2 means this is probability of x equals to 1 also will come, and probability of x equal to 2 will come. Now here they are only talking about x. So don't look into the joint probability. No, it is single x only they are talking about. They have not talked about anywhere y. In this case we have x and y, so we have considered the joint probability table of x and y both. But in this case it is only x they are talking about. So whenever they're talking about x, we have to look into the marginal probability of x. Okay, so marginal probability of x already you know, column addition of rows. If you add this, you will get one value. When you add this, you will get one value. When you add this, you will get one value. So you add and write it. 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1, 6c. So 6c, 6, 4, 10. This will be 12c, and then will be 9, 6, 15 plus 3, 18. This will be 18c. So this is the sum of f of xi's. Okay, so probability of x equal to 1 means I'm talking about f of x1 plus probability, I'm talking about f of x2. So f of x1 is 6c plus x2 is 12c. Mm, 6, 4, 10 plus 12. All right. So then what is the value of this? It is greater than equal to 2, no? Sorry. So this will be x equal to 2 and 3. I'm sorry. 1 will not come. So this will be x equal to x2 and x3 I'm talking about. So this will be 12 plus 18, which is not 12c plus 18c. So this is nothing but 30c. So you can calculate this. You will get 30 into 1 by 36. Okay. So similarly, you can find probability of y less than 2. So probability of y less than 2 means you have to take the column addition. So y less than 2 means here they're talking about probability of y is equal to 1 only, less than 2. So this column you have to take the sum, j of yj. So 3 plus 2 plus 1, 3, 4, 5, 6c. You will get the answer. I'll just quickly write down here. So here you will get the value 6c and you can calculate. What is the probability of x equal to 1? Probability of x equal to 1 will be equal to 6c. So this is also 6c. What is probability of x, y is equal to 3? So y is equal to 3 means column of y equal to 3 are to add. So 9 plus 6, 15, 15 plus 3, 18. So this will be 18c. Any doubt in this? If any doubt is there, please let me know. Any doubt in this session, in this particular problem? Okay. One second. This is the chat. A fair coin is tossed 3 times and x equal to 0 and 1 accordingly as head and tail occur in the first toss, and y is equal to the total number of head that occurs. So we have to find the marginal probability, joint probability, check whether x and y are independent, and then covariance. In this case, joint probability they have not given, statement they have given. So if they have given the statement, how to find the joint probability, let us see. So a fair coin is tossed 3 times. So the first thing what you have to do is you have to write all the sample spaces. So now in the sample spaces only, I am adding the random variable x and y here. So you can see that x is 0 or 1 as head or tail occurs in first toss. What it means that if in the first toss it is head, then I have to put 0 or 1. Then I have to put 0 value. If it is tail in the first, then I have to put 1 value as x. This is what it means. So you can see here in the first outcome, the first toss is head, so I will put 0. In this also, first toss it is head, so I will put 0. In this also, if it is head, it is 0. In this also, first toss it is head, it is 0. In this it is tail, so it will take 1. In this case also it is tail, so it will take 1. In this it is tail, it will take 1. And it will, in this case also it is tail, it will take 1. It's clear now. X is 0 or 1 accordingly as head or tail. So 0 for head and 1 for tail in the first toss. First toss means on the first entry you have to check everywhere. So whenever it is head, put 0 in the first entry. Whenever it is tail, put 1 in the entry. Now y is also another random variable which is nothing but total number of head occurs. So in this outcome we have 3 head. In this I have 2 heads. In this also I have 2 head. In this I have 1 head. In this I have 2 heads. And then we have 1 head here. We have 1 head here, and we have 3 head here. So this particular scenario I have drawn. So any confusion in this particular scenario? No. So now I will draw the joint probability distribution. So the joint probability distribution will be, so I have to draw a table. Just quickly take the table. Okay, so you will be having x and y. So in this column I have to put y value. So what is the range of y? What is the range of y? 3 head, 2 head, 2 head, 1 head. In this case it is 0 head, I'm sorry. This is 0 head. So the range of y will be 0, 1, 2 and 3. So y can take value 0, 1, 2 and 3. What is the x range? X range is only 0 and 1. So x will take the value 0 and 1. That's all. So anywhere if you have doubt, please let me know. Just quickly draw this table. Okay. All right. So I will change the color to fill the values. Let me take white. Now, to fill this particular values, this table plays an important role for me. So now you check. This is anyway x values, x1 and x2. This is nothing but your y1, y2, y3 and y4. So now check 0 and 0 anywhere you have the combination. I do not have anywhere 0 and 0 combination, x0 and y0. No. So it means this probability will be 0. Now, next combination you have to check is 0 and 1, x0 and y1. So x0 and y1, here I have the combination. So how many times I have? Only one time out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So out of 8, only one combination I have. So this value will be 1 by 8. Please pay attention carefully how I am writing the joint distribution table. Next combination you have to check is 0 and 2. So where I have 0 and 2, here also I have 0 and 2, and here also I have 0 and 2. So I have two combination out of 8. So that will be 2 by 8. So next combination is 0 and 3. So 0 and 3 I have only one combination. So this will be 1 by 8, 1 out of 8. Next 1, 0. 1, 0 I have only one combination. So this will be 1 by 8. Next 1 and 1. So 1 and 1 I have two combination, here also and here also. So this will be 2 by 8. Next 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 I have one combination. Next 1 and 3. So 1 and 3 I do not have any combination. All the combinations are covered. So 0 possibility. So this is the joint probability table. Any doubt in this? Alright. So joint probability table first I have drawn. Now I can draw the marginal probability distribution by taking the sum. So I will first add this row wise. So 1 by 8 plus 1, 2 by 8 plus 1 by 8. How much? 2, 3, 4. 4 by 8. What is this sum? 2, 3 and 4. This is also 4 by 8. Okay, what is the addition of column? This will be 1 by 8. This will be 3 by 8. This will be 3 by 8. And this sum will be 1 by 8. So we have got the sum column wise. So this is the value of f of xi. And this is the value of g of yj. We have seen this. So what is the marginal probability of x now? So xi divided by f of xi. Xi has not, x is only two values, 0 and 1. So when it is 0, value is 4 by 8. So 4 by 8 means 1 by 2. When it is 1, it is also 4 by 8. So this is 1 by 2. So this is the marginal probability of x. Similarly, you have to draw the marginal probability of y also. So yj into g of yj. So y will take the value from 0, 1, 2 and 3. So when it is 0, the value is 1 by 8 probability. Next is 3 by 8. Next is this also 3 by 8. And last is 1 by 8. So this is the marginal probability of y. Marginal probability of y. So both the question I have answered. So now can you tell me whether x and y are independent or not? Here only you can check whether it is independent or not. Which formula you have to use? You have to use f of xi into g of yj, and that should be equal to j of ij. Any one value you take. You take 1 by 2 into 1 by 8. So I will write it here. Okay. So I will take 1 by 2, that is f of x1, and g of y1 also take into 1 by 8. So value is coming 1 by 16, but it is not equal to j11 because j11 is 0. So this is not equal to j11. So they are not independent. They are not independent. I will just write this independence condition here. So x and y is not independent since f of x1 into g of y1 is not equal to j of 11. That is 1 by 2 into how much is gy1? 1 by 8. 1 by 8 is actually equal to 1 by 16, but j11 value is 0 given here. So therefore 1 by 16 is not equal to 0. Clear? Now find the covariance of xy. So you have the formula of covariance of xy. So this part I will leave it to you. Okay, because I already have done so many of problem of covariance of xy. So you already know the formula of covariance of xy. I'll just write the formula and leave it. So the covariance of x comma y. Can you tell me? E of xy minus E of x into E of y. So you can find E of xy, you can find E of x and E of y. So I will just write the value for you and you check it. Covariance is coming around minus 1 by 4. This part I'm leaving this to you. With the same formula you do it. Any doubt in this portion? All the three problems, actually I should have been done only one or two, but I have done all the three problems from the question bank, because I don't want any question to be left untouched. Okay, so any doubt in this particular problem? Please let me know. Okay, so I will quickly go back to the continuous category and then we'll wind up for the today. Only one question I have taken from continuous category. So continuous category PDF is defined by this particular formula. F of xy is equal to partial differentiation, because already I have told you how to find the CDF of x and y in the previous particular slide. So whenever you differentiate with respect to x, because it's two variable here, so I have written partial derivative. So actually f of xy is joint probability distribution when f of xy is greater than or equal to 0 and integration of this should be equal to 1. Simple procedure, same concept, nothing new in this. So for example, if you want to write the probability of this portion, probability of x less than 3, so it will always start from minus infinity to plus infinity. So x value will be from minus infinity to 3 you have to put, and y will be from 1 to 4 range, whatever they have given. You have to just plug it, and whatever the density function they have given, put here and integrate. Now, in this case, the marginal probability function is defined in mathematical expression of this part, because it is continuous, so everywhere I have integration. Okay, so if you want to find the marginal probability of x, you have to integrate with respect to y. That's the only thing you have to know. If you want to find the marginal probability of y, you have to integrate with respect to x, and whatever the given density function, that will plug it here. Independence is what? X and y is said to be independent if you multiply the marginal probability of x and y. If that is same as given density function, it is independent. Similar concept of discrete, but everywhere it is in terms of integration. So anyway, we'll quickly go back to the problem and then we'll clear all your doubts. Only one problem I'll do. Okay. So this I've taken from a question bank. Now you can see that your density function is given as 4xy. So when x is in between 0 to 1 and y is in between 0 to 1 and 0 everywhere. So we have to find the marginal probability and check whether x and y are independent or not, and then calculate some probabilities. In one problem itself, I have taken everything. So before I will find the marginal probability, first you check whether this density function is valid or not. So first thing what you have to do is check whether the f of xy given is valid PDF or not. Is valid PDF or not. And how to check whether it's valid PDF or not? This condition I will apply. So obviously, because ranges are given from 0 to 1, you put any value here, this value will be definitely greater than or equal to 0, so no problem. Second condition, I will check whether I'm getting 1 or not. So this part I have to verify. So let us check this. So first condition is obviously true. Your f of xy will be definitely greater than or equal to 0 because x is given 0 to 1 and y is 0 to 1. Any value you put here, that will be positive. This condition is true. Now, second condition, let me check. So integration of x, integration of y, 4xy into dx dy. That should be equal to 1. I have to get it. So let us check it quickly. So limit of x they have given 0 to 1. Limit of y also is given from 0 to 1. 4 I will keep it outside and xy. Because it is y here first, so I will write y and then dx. Because it is constant limit, does not matter. In first semester you studied. If it is constant limit, you either differentiate integrate with respect to x or y. That does not matter. So that implies 4 into x equal to 0 to 1. I'm integrating with respect to y first. So I will get x y square by 2. Limit is 0 to 1 and dx as it is. So 2 and 2 will get cancels out. So 2 outside, 0 to 1. Then you have x. Upper limit is y square. So 1 square is 1 minus 0 square into dx. So next 2 into 0 to 1. You will get x into dx. So when you integrate this, you will get 2 into x square by 2. Integration 0 to 1. And 2 to get cancels out, upper limit is 1, so I will get a value 1. So yes, f of xy is valid PDF. You have to first check is valid PDF. Valid joint probability, actually it is valid joint probability density function. Okay, so this portion I have checked it out. Now I will find the marginal probability. So to find the marginal probability, this formula I will apply. So I will first find the marginal probability of x. So to find the marginal probability of x, I have to take the integration of y terms of given density function. So how to find marginal probability? So the marginal probability of x I'm finding. So that I will denote with fx of x, and the formula will be means I have to integrate only y term of the given density function with respect to y. This is the formula. So y limit is given to us from 0 to 1 in the problem. You can see here limit is 0 to 1 and f of xy is 4xy. So this value I'll just plug it here. So this will become 4xy into dy. So when you integrate this, 4 will come out, x into y square by 2, 0 to 1 limit. So 2 and this get cancels out. So this will be 2 x and limit is 1 minus 0. So I'm getting the value as 2x. So therefore the marginal probability of x is 2x. Okay, so next I will find the marginal probability of y. So to find the marginal probability of y, I have to integrate x terms. So x limit is 0 to 1, 4xy is given with respect to dx. Whenever you are finding the marginal probability of y, x values you have to take. So this will be 4 into x square y by 2 integration 0 to 1. So this get cancels out. So upper limit of x, when you put, you will get 1 square minus 0. So you will get 2 into y. So I'm getting value as 2y. So therefore fy of y is 2y. This is the marginal probability of y. So therefore, if you multiply fx and fy of y, if you multiply these two marginal probability values, whatever you have got, I'm getting 4xy, which is equal to the given density function. So they are same. So this implies x and y are independent. X and y are independent. Okay, you can see here the independence condition I put. If you just product the marginal probability of x and y, and if it is same as the given density function, then it is independent. So yes, f of xy is 4xy, it's given here, and marginal probability we have got as 2x into 2y. When I multiplied, I have got 4xy, which is same as f of xy. Then it means x and y are independent. What else I have to answer? Okay, next I have to answer x less than, probability of x less than half. So I have to add one more working part here. Okay, so fine. So I will just take p of x less than half. So what is the probability of x less than half? So how will calculate this? Can you tell me what is the limit of x you will get here? And what is the second question? This also I will take probability of x less than half and y less than half. Okay. Second, probability of x less than half, comma, y less than half. Now you see here, in the second you have both x and y given. So to answer this question, see the joint probability distribution. But in this case, only x is there. So either x is there or y is there. You have to only see the marginal probability of x to answer this question, because y is not in this picture. Y is missing in this. So when y is missing in this, you have to look into only marginal probability of x to answer this question. And to answer this question, because both x and y are there, you have to see the joint probability distribution. So to answer this particular question, what I have to do? You already have the joint marginal probability of x, which is 2x, right? So what you have to do in this case? X less than half, x is less than half, but the range given for x is up to 1. But now you are finding the limit only up to half. Alright, so how you will find this? So x value will be starting from limit 0 in the problem which is given. It is not going up to 1, it is now stopping up to half. So this will become half, and then you have to put the marginal probability value in this case of x, which is 2x, and then integrate. That is the only part you have to do. So when you calculate this, you will get 2 outside. X square by 2 is the integration, 0 and half. So this will be 2 and 2 get cancels out. Upper limit is 1 by 2 whole square. So you will get 1 by 4 as the answer. Therefore, probability of x less than half is equal to 1 by 4. If they ask you y less than half, In that case also you have to see the marginal probability of y only, because in this x is missing. So this also, even the range of y start from 0 and going up to half, range will retain this only. You cannot deviate from this range of x and y. So lower range is for both x and y is 0. Probability they can ask anywhere in between 0 and 1. So you can see here, if they ask y also between less than half, so this will be y is equal to 0 to half, but x is missing in this, so we have to put the marginal probability of y value, which is 2y. So that will be 2y into dy. This part you have to just calculate. Even this also you will get 1 by 4 if you calculate. This is the extra portion. This is not required. Just for your understanding part I have written. So I just quickly rub this part because this is not required here. So next is I will take the second portion. So here I have probability of x less than half, and now x and y both are present in this. So to answer this question, both integration limit will come. So now x will start from lower limit 0 and going up to half, right? Y limit is also starting from 0 and going up to half. Okay, now because x and y both are there, I have to see the joint distribution. So joint distribution means this portion, this joint distribution I have to take. Joint probability distribution, what will taken. So you have to take the 4xy now. So we have to feed 4 into xy in this case into dy dx. So simple integration. When you integrate this portion, I'll just write the value. You integrate and check. 4 you can take outside and integrate. You will get 1 divided by 16 as the answer. Got it? So the only part you have to remember here is that whenever they will ask probability of only x less than something, then you have to feed marginal probability of x, because x is there only. If they have given both x less than something and y less than something, then you have to feed joint probability density function, means the f of xy which they have given in the problem. That value will go inside the integration. So this point only you have to remember. All right. Okay, any doubt is there in this particular portion? Just let me know. Any doubt in this? Okay. So that's all. This is one extra problem I have given, similar to the previous one. This you try yourself. So already marginal probability, this is joint probability distribution they have given. Range of x is also given. Okay, so you don't need to check the condition whether it is valid PDF or not. It is valid. You have to just find the value of C. So I will just find the value of C and I will leave it to you. So how to find the value of C? The limit of x and y of the joint probability distribution, that should be equal to 1. We know this. Okay, so to find the value of C, your x range is between 2 to 6 and y range from 0 to 5, and f of xy is given as C. I will take it outside, and this will be 2x plus y into dy dx, because y is first, so I will write y and x. It does not matter because both are constant limits. So when you integrate this with respect to y, what you get here? You will get 2 into xy plus y square by 2, and limit is 0 to 5. Dx is remaining, and that should be equal to 1. One second. Okay, I'll just continue from here. So this will be C, integration of 2 to 6. Upper limit to apply. So you will get 2 into 5 10x plus 25 by 2. Lower limit is anyway 0, so you will get 0. So don't need to scratch your head too much for this. That should be equal to 1. So now when you integrate with respect to x, you will get 10x square by 2 plus 25 by 2 into x, and limit is 2 to 6, and that should be equal to 1. So just plug the values. So this will become 2 and 10 get cancels out 5 times. So 5 into 6 square minus 4. So 36 minus 4 plus 25 by 2 into 6 minus 2. That should be equal to 1. So this will be 5 into 32 plus 25 by 2 into 4 is equal to 1. So how much is this? This is C into 210, I think. So therefore C value will be 1 by 210. This is how you have to do it. This is the condition of joint probability distribution which I have taken. Already you know, which is equal to 1. So just put the range and integrate. Right? So marginal probability, already have told you previously how to do it. So you do it. So this portion I will just leave it to you. This portion also you know how to do. So to answer this question, you have to look into joint probability distribution only, because x and y both are present. To answer this question, you have to see marginal probability density of x, which you have to find first. Previously you have to find here. Now this portion is new to you, how to find x plus y less than 4. So this portion I will tell you how to answer probability of x plus y less than 4. So if you just take this value as x plus y is equal to 4, then you can just, you know that you will get x by 4 by y by 4 is equal to 1. It's a straight line which passes from 4 comma 1 to 1 comma 4. It's a straight line, and the range of x is given between 2 to 6 and y is given between 5. So when you plot this, so x range, this is x and this is y. So x is between 2 and 6 and y is between 0 and 5. So y is between 0, so y is 0 and 5 is somewhere here. So I will just take dotted line over here. So this is y is equal to 5. So 4 comma 1 will be somewhere here. This point will be 4 comma 1, and this point will be somewhere 1 comma 4. So this is the straight line, and you already have the range given between 2 to 6, so that I'm highlighting. So this is the area which they're talking about to integrate. All right. So to answer this question, little bit of first semester concept of multiple integral you have to go. So as you have seen that this is the range, I have got it. So x limit will go from this point to this point. It means your x will go from 2 to 4 horizontally, and y will go from this portion to this curve. So this curve is x plus y is equal to 4. So you are writing limit for y. So y start from 0, because this whole line is 0, and go up to what? Y is equal to 4 minus x. So we have already seen this. So y will be from 0 to 4 minus x horizontally. This is vertically. So this is how we write the limits, horizontal limits and vertical limit, if you remember. So this portion will now written in the form of x limit will be from 2 to 4, 2 to 4, because anyway it is up to 4. Then your y limit will be from 0, this line, which is y is equal to 0, to this particular curve. We have to go upward up to the curve. So curve is this straight line. So this straight line is x plus y is equal to 4. Just take the y value from here. So y is equal to 4 minus x. So this will become 4 minus x. And your f of xy, whatever they are given, just put this same thing. So c into 2x plus y. So 2x plus y, c value is 210 we have got, into dy dx. This is the only part you have to integrate. So no rocket science in this. So you can integrate and you can check the answer. So I have already solved this. So answer is 2 by 35 I'm getting. You check this. Simple integration, nothing is there. 1 by 210 you can take it outside. Simple integration, nothing is there in this. This is 1 by 210 out. X from 2 to 4 and y will be from 0 to 4 minus x, remain between 2x minus plus y into dy dx. So just integrate with respect to y first. So this is 2 to 4. When you integrate with respect to y, you will get 2xy plus y square by 2, and limit is 0 to 4 minus x into dx. So lower limit anyway will be 0. So only put the upper limit. So you will get 1 by 210, 2 to 4. So you will get 2 into x into 4 minus x, because limit is only for y, plus 4 minus x whole square by 2. And this whole term left to integrate with respect to x. So just simplify this and integrate. So answer I have written here 2 by 35. You check it out. Alright. So if any doubt in this particular portion,